What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rec Talk. It's been a minute. I know you missed me. And you got to do that every so often, guys. Even if you're in a relationship, especially if you're in a relationship, you got to go away long enough sometimes for people to miss you. You know? So that's probably good advice. If you're married or something, just leave for like a week and don't say nothing. And then when she's terrified and you come back, be like, well, Rec Talk said I had to leave long enough for you to miss me. Do you miss me? That's what I would do. Anyways, today, let's talk about transfer portal, Florida State, Texas Tech, amongst other things, etc. The little ellipses, ... So Florida State's got the number one portal class in the ACC. Georgia Tech's got the 5th. I think it's 31st overall. Florida State is like 5th overall in the country. And I kind of look at it and I think, did they not? How many times do I have to learn the same lesson? So is Texas Tech, are they the first ranked portal class? They might be. They've gotten donors to commit money or something like no one's ever seen at a place like Texas Tech. No one's even really cared about Texas Tech since Mike Leach was there. And people didn't really care about him then, if we're honest with ourselves. But, you know, shout out to them. Man, there was one Texas Tech. There's a Texas Tech commenter, man, that just all night one night just blew up my comment section from Lubbock, Texas or something. A place that it's like would be like somewhere you would send somewhere as a punishment. Like if your kid was really acting up, be like, I'm going to send you to boarding school in Lubbock, Texas, and they would straighten up real quick. You know, he's running around trying to tell everyone that, you know, anyone should care about Texas Tech. Number one, but hey, impressive. I think they might have the number one portal class in the country. Let's look back at Florida State. Here's the thing with the transfer portal. I think once you almost exclusively rely on the transfer portal for your production on the field for that year, it's a tough cycle to get out of. And it didn't work for him last year. So it worked for him one year, really, really well, undefeated, fake national title rings and all that. Then they go 2-10. Now, I feel like most football fans could have told them DJU was never going to work. They should have just listened to Pigskin Pete. Not only did DJU not work for Florida State, he had the worst year of his career, and he had one of the worst seasons any quarterback has had at their school for this last year, right? Just awful. Oh, well, there was a lot of drop balls. Well, yeah, they all, you know, the only thing they worked at as a team was carrying the suck workload. Like, hey, we're not just going to let DJ suck. I'm going to drop a ball and suck, or I'm not going to block and suck. Remember when Nick Saban was trying to tell us they had the best defensive line preseason? They had the best offensive line preseason. That's the only place I kind of feel bad for Florida State fans, like War Chant and all of these absolutely worthless publications and YouTube channels like College Football Addiction and, you know, Double I Like to Suck on Balls, No Fries or whatever. I mean, they just straight up lied to you and milked you for ad revenue. Just milked and milked and milked all the stupid Florida State fans for an entire offseason. Really more than that, for an entire year. Y'all still pretending y'all didn't want to be in the y'all didn't want to leave the ACC, by the way. Y'all going to stick with that? Y'all better hope it works this year, because like I said, you're now in a cycle with the transfer portal that's hard to get out of, right? Because most of the portal players that are coming into your class this year are going to be ones and dones, right? So they're either have 1 year of eligibility left, or they're just going to the biggest check. Now, most players are, but if they get offered more by someone else and they show out there, they're going to go off and play football somewhere else. All right? Meanwhile, you're not really developing your recruits because they're not getting as much time on the field. Now, I guess they will if you go 2-10 again this year and you're just getting blown out every game. They'll probably get a lot of, garbage time for a garbage season. But like I said, you better hope these kids work out because now, y'all fired like your entire staff outside of Mike Norvell. And let's be honest, you would have fired Mike Norvell if you didn't just sign him to a $70 million or whatever extension. So you've had to buy out your coordinators out of their contracts and all this. Bring in Gus Malzahn, which is just a head-scratching. Like, there's a lot of reasons I can see you would justify being happy with it. Like, Gus Malzahn, Central Florida was like top 25 in most stats nationally. But he's kind of a gimmick hire. He's a gimmick hire, and it seems like you could have done better than Gus. It's weird that he would step down as head coach. Central Florida was really, I think Central Florida's really happy with Florida State because they weren't happy with Gus Malzahn. They were probably like, man, thanks for hiring this moron. That way we don't have to pay his buyout in 2 years. But, Florida State loves just lighting money on fire and just watching it burn, don't they? Who's going to be Florida State's quarterback this year? Who knows? Who knows? How much did y'all pay DJU to be the worst quarterback in the country last year? So I still think we're going to be able to point and laugh at Florida State. And for all you moronic Florida State fans that scrambled around for an entire season trying to justify the stinky turd you were watching on TV every weekend, you're not the most watched program in the country or in the top 10 or any of that. You're not the most watched team in your own conference. That would be Georgia Tech. Yeah, Georgia Tech, more watched than Florida State. I guess we're just a bigger brand than you. Bigger brand, care more about football. Is what it is. You guys see all these idiotic Florida State fans that every weekend they'd be posting, yeah, we might not be that good right now. But they'd literally be posting stuff from Walmart. I just found a Florida State jersey in Wichita, Wisconsin. Or Wichita, Kansas, wherever the hell Wichita is. Does anyone even know what the Mideast is? Where is Wichita? I just found this Florida State jersey in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Look at our brand. It's sad. It's sad and it's embarrassing. But moving on from them. There's a lot going on. To speak some on the Georgia Tech portal front, Romello Height, I guess, officially signs with Texas Tech. There were some rumors that maybe that wasn't a done deal yet. And that there was some chance that he might come back to Tech, which I think this puts that to rest. And honestly, every time someone announces they're hitting the portal for Tech, there's all these rumors like, well, hold on. I heard from my cousin's dog sitter that, he's coming back to Tech or whatever. And it rarely, if ever, happens. Like, the closest thing to that, I guess, was Malik Rutherford. And I've already let my feelings be known about that. Like, I'm glad he came back. But when you basically threaten to put your notice in and then you fumble in a critical stage of the game in a bowl game, I don't feel bad. Figure it out. These aren't just student athletes anymore. You're getting paid. So I don't know what to expect from the portal era. I think Tech's doing as well as you can probably expect them to do right now. I think we have 4 defensive linemen. coming in, which will help. We probably would like at least one more, but numbers wise, a good pickup for us. By the way, I am trying to do a show with After Swarm. Maybe that'll be the first live show in this hiatus we do back. I'm hoping to do it Friday with the After Swarm guys. They also have their forum set up, so check that out. I'll try to put it in this video. I mean, I'm driving. I'll try to put a link for that in this video. But go check out the After Swarm forums. They're doing great things. What else? Oh, Georgia. Georgia loses to Notre Dame. Notre Dame hasn't won really anything in the postseason since the early 90s. They beat Indiana. Indiana, of which I didn't mention this in that video, but had the smallest margin of loss, I guess, if you want to call it that, yet everyone's talking about them not wanting to be in. Then it's like, well, maybe Notre Dame doesn't need to be in. Well, then Notre Dame beats Georgia, who, not even outside of the Georgia faithful, a lot of people really liked to win it until they saw what Ohio State's doing. So, look, I don't feel bad for Georgia, especially for you moronic, inbred Hills idiots that like to comment on these videos. I even heard, it wasn't even what I heard. I think Lou posted on Twitter, like, I can't believe, or maybe it was in his your season is over video. Never thought I'd live to see the day where Georgia fans act like Alabama fans, where they want everyone fired after they lose a game. But, and look, I don't really have any issues with Uncle Lou, but I hate to break this to you. Georgia fans have acted like Alabama fans way before they ever had the success on the field to justify acting like how Alabama fans do. They've acted like it's their birthright to win every game they're in for many, many, many years now. So, couldn't happen to a more deserving fan base to be sitting at home, just like my team is right now, watching everyone else play the games. And also Nick Saban continuing to cry, bitch, whine, and make excuses for Alabama. I'm so glad that he outed himself this year as, I'm just going to call it what it is, as basically a bitch, because that's what he is. He, after they lost to Michigan, which now Kalen DeBoer was he the only coach to lose to Michigan for two different teams in the same year? Nick Saban sounds like a fan now. He's like, well, basically when you get left out of the playoffs, it's really hard to get your team ready, blah, 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 blah. Well, then make the playoffs, Alabama Jones. You think he's still, boy, he's testy. He's testy, especially since Shane Gillis, comedian, outed him. I guess we all have to pretend like Nick Saban never did anything under the table and always won solely on doing everything of the utmost integrity. Interesting. Basically screw the old SEC. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of rambling at this point. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the portal. Florida State, Texas Tech making moves here. Georgia losing to Notre Dame. Nick Saban being the bitch of college football all of a sudden and getting his feelings hurt by, a comedian. Let me know what you guys think. Y'all have a good one.